Welcome back to the practical section. You have to open INKSCAPE application, graphics, INKSCAPE vector graphics editor. In the last class we learned some tools. We learned select and transform objects tool, edit path by nodes tool, then create rectangles and squares, create circles, ellipse and arcs tool. Today we will be taking draw Bezier curves and straight lines. Draw Bezier curves and straight lines. This is used for drawing a closed figure or a line. For example, I want to draw a line. Then I will click and create a node. Then double click to close it. A line is formed. You can see the line. This is the line. Okay. If you want to draw a closed figure, again, see the first node. To mark the second node, you have to click. Click second node, the third one, and I'm going to close. That means I want to click on the starting point. Click on the starting point. So this is the way for drawing a closed figure using what? Draw Bezier curves and straight lines. This is used for drawing the line or a polygon. Then going to the next tool. Hope you have written the lecture note. It is used for drawing a straight line or a closed figure. Okay. Then the next is draw calligraphic and brushed strokes. Draw calligraphic. This tool is used in our activity for drawing the steam. Let's see. We will use in our activity for drawing the steam. Now you will say how this could be a steam like structure. I am going to change the color. After changing the color, I will give one effect, that is blur effect. See, it will look like the smoke, the steam which is coming out of a cup of tea or coffee. We want to create a logo. Do you remember? Yes. For that purpose, we will use that calligraphic tool for drawing the steam from a cup of coffee. Okay, draw calligraphic and brush strokes. It is used for drawing the steam. Okay. Calligraphic lines. It is used for drawing the calligraphic lines. Coming to the next tool. Create and edit text object tool. Create and edit text objects tool. The A. This icon A. Always that type of icons are used for typing letters. I'm going to type. Click on the canvas and start writing. Class class 10 A and B. Okay, when I select this, see, I can resize. How can you resize? We have learned it. Using the selection tool, you can resize. Yes. How will you change the color? By clicking on any color, you can change it. Yes, this is the way for typing the text and changing the color and size. Got it? If you want to select it, again you have to click on create and edit text objects tool, and see the cursor is here. You can double click and select. Okay, double click and select another color if you want. You can select the font type from the top bar. See, on the top bar, the tools control bar. Where is the tools control bar? On the top. From there you have to select the type, the font style, whatever font style you want. Different font styles are available. You can select from there. You got the idea how to change it? You have to select. You have to select and change the style. Okay. This is the way for typing the text. Once again, take the text tool, click here and start typing. How will you resize it? Using our selection tool you can resize. How will you change the color? After selecting, you can change the color from selecting the color from the color palette. If you want to change the font, then what you have to do? Again select the text tool. The cursor will appear. You have to double click on the text. See? Use the shift and arrow key for selection. Shift and arrow. After a double click, use shift and arrow if you want to select all. Shift and arrow. Yes, 4 arrow keys are there. You have to click on the right arrow and select the style which you want. Different styles are available. Yes, select one. Change the color. This is the way for changing the text type. Okay. Coming to the next tool, that is create and edit gradients. Create and edit gradients. The gradient tool. We are going to learn the gradient tool. Okay. For that I am drawing a circle. Now I am going to give the gradient effect to this. What do you mean by gradient effect? Giving two colors. Why we are giving two colors? We are giving two colors for giving the effect of shade and light. That means the 3D effect. To give the 3D effect to the object, we usually give the gradient effect. I am selecting the gradient tool. After selecting the gradient tool, you come to the tools control bar. Where is the tools control bar? On the top. On the tools control bar, you can see the new written there, new option written there. In near that there are two boxes. Create linear gradient and one is create radial gradient. Once again, what are the options? Create linear gradient, and the next one is create radial gradient. Linear gradient means for linear figures. What do you mean by a linear figure? For example, a cylinder or a rectangle. you have to give linear gradient. Now I have drawn what? A circle. It is a radial gradient. If it is a circle, you have to give which effect? Radial gradient. Radial gradient. We select the second one, that is the radial gradient, and double click on this. Double click on this object, that is the circle. When I double click, see, you can see 3 nodes. This is the first node, second node, and the third node. You click on the middle one and change the color. I am going to give as white on the middle, and click on the outer node and select another color. See, the shade of white and this color, it will give a light and shade effect and a 3D effect to it. Okay, if you are selecting a black color at the center, see, but to give a 3D effect, okay, we are using this type of color. Or if you want to give double shades, you can use this. Now I am drawing a rectangle. Drawing a rectangle. I want to give 2 colors to this. Then what will you do? Gradient tool. It is is it a radial figure? No, it is not a circle. I am selecting the linear gradient. Select the linear gradient, double click. See how many nodes? Only 2 nodes appears. Okay, click on one node and select the other color. Click on the other and select what color you want to bring. Okay, this is the way for giving the gradient effect. Got it? For gradient tool, there are 2: create linear gradient and create radial gradient. Radial gradient for circular figures, and for linear gradient is used for linear figures. Okay, by this our tools are over.